Da na 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 na. We will rock you. Rock you.
It is episode 7.
The construction life will rock you.
This is where we're going to talk about Carlito, Mikey, and Manny. And
we will rock you. Rock you.
To the left of me, I've got Carlito.
And to the left of me, I've got Mike from Creatix Contracting.
Whoa! And to the left of me, I've got many from Hardcore Renos, coming in at 270,000 pounds.
Oh my God. All right. Episode 7 is about us.
Wow. I love it. Love it.
Here we go. A lot of people want to know about us.
Well, let's start from the T-Dot.
T-Dot. We're all from T-Dot.
We're proud to be from Toronto, straight out of Toronto.
I wasn't born in here. I was raised here, but I wasn't.
Where were you born?
I was born in France.
No way.
What?
Yes, I was, sir.
Wow, this is very interesting.
Here we go. The racist light is up.
That explains the front lens.
You cannot fool me. The window is open.
We just lost the French market.
Je m'appelle Manuel. Ah oui, mon favori garçon.
Where were you guys born?
Wait a second.
I was born in Italy.
Wait. Honestly, are you really from France?
Yeah, I was born from France. Born in France.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Does anyone else know this?
No. They didn't.
Really? All this time, I didn't know you were from France.
Sir, where'd you think I was from?
You know what? We were so busy,
Pluto.
I never really... I actually thought you were just a Toronto guy. I know you're Portuguese.
I was raised here.
Wow.
You were born in France? That's interesting.
Until
man.
when?
I didn't know this.
No, I was only there for about 8 years.
So you're telling me until 9 you were in France?
Yeah, hang on a sec. This is a podcast about the three of us. Why are you both fucking
hang on.
picking
Well,
on me, man?
we're getting on you right
this.
now.
I like this. I love Europe. Very interesting to find out
There's
you're from
5
France.
kids. There's 5 kids. There's 3 boys. There's 2 girls. The 2 youngest, my younger brother and myself, we were born in France. The other 3 were born in the Azores.
Wow.
Holy jeez.
Where are you guys from? Where are you guys born?
I was born in the T-Dot.
Okay.
I'm a Toronto boy. Started off in Parkdale. Moved to Mississauga. Ended up being a Peel boy, 905.
905er.
But caused trouble in the 416.
Oh,
T-Dot, baby.
Well, you didn't cause trouble at home, huh?
No, I did, but I'm keeping the 905 out of it.
What about you, Mikey?
I was born in Malton, man. Malton, Mississauga.
Wow.
Amazing.
Talk about
well,
it.
I was born in Malton. I lived there for a good 16, 17 years, and then I went to, I don't even want to say it, man.
Where?
Why don't you want to say shit? This is
Well,
called
whatever.
a podcast.
Just spit it out.
Man, whatever.
I've already learned you're from Malton, and I don't even
know.
know if I've been there or not.
How worse is it going to get from here?
Most
Oh,
of the guys,
wow.
most of the people that used to live in Malton, and they will all vouch for me on this one. No, we ended up in Woodbridge.
Okay, but
So my parents.
isn't Malton close to Brampton?
Yes.
Yes, very
Oh,
close.
I've been to Malton. I was at your old house.
Really?
We went for a shortcut one time, and you were showing me shortcuts on streets.
That's right. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, I remember where you live
Malton
now,
boy, man.
or where you did live.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So we're
Awesome.
trying to share more information about ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a Dufferin King. Well, I was really young at the time, but the one thing was true about the ghetto. When the ice cream truck came, all the kids would run out to it. And whenever I heard that bell ringing, man, I was out there for ice cream. Well, let's talk about Mikey. He told me that he knew how to ride ATVs, and then I brought him. I brought him up to my farm.
Hang on a
and
second.
I
Before
look
we go
over-
down this
wait
road.
a second.
Okay, go. I'll let you say.
Technically speaking, neither one of us went down this road. You went down this road.
So the first thing is I look over at Mike and I say, "Are you ready to go?" He's got his helmet on. He's looking all cute and stuff. Not to me, but to himself. All of a sudden, I see his hand, and it's like he's pretending there's a throttle there, and I'm like, "Hey, Mikey, man, what the hell are you doing, dude?"
Revving
and he's
the
like,
engine.
"All right, I'm trying to rev this thing," and I'm like, "It's thumb operated, bro."
Not the one that I
No,
had.
he was good. He was really good until
Until he went down on the road.
No, I took him to the farm.
Yeah,
we did some off-roading.
the
first.
Instagram was
I
happy-go-lucky
wanted to
for a
test
while.
him. I wanted to test him, see if he was good.
That wasn't a normal ride, dude.
First of all, I'm a bush rider.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't we
And
explain to the
you
viewers
look like
that,
a bush. For most of the viewers,
Hang on a
Mikey
sec.
just shaved his body
I stopped
and normally
being
he's a
a
bush
long
rider.
time ago.
Anyways, are we supposed to talk about us? All right. So for all you guys that were wondering why it all stopped that day on Instagram, Mikey basically flipped over the ATV into a river, and then Carlito saved my ass.
Wait.
Period.
No.
Done.
Mike was making it over. What we did was we took a cube truck apart and we took the chassis of it and we made it a bridge. And for over 20 years, everybody's been crossing this bridge. And I have my
Along
friends.
comes Mikey.
I have my friends' kids. They're 12 years old.
Oh, shut up.
I double on the back with them, not even telling them what to do. We cross this thing
yeah,
all the
right.
time. Mikey's like, first time in a year and a half that Mikey's actually made it to my farm. And I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be wicked. I'm taking my time. I don't want to freak him out or anything. So I'm like, oh, he's gonna have a fantastic day. We're gonna do some 4x4ing. We get to the bridge. I look back to make sure he's okay. I'm like, you okay, Mikey? And he's like, yeah, I got this. He gets on the bridge and just throttles it. The bike does a fishtail, and you could just picture this. It looks like train tracks. He kicks the back end out, then leans backwards, and this 8-foot machine goes right off of this thing, and it's basically a bridge.
Yeah.
And he lands in the water on his feet. Thank God, because I could have lost Mike, and I would have had to give him mouth to mouth underwater, and it would have been only 2 minutes. It would have probably been the most embarrassing moment in my life. I would have lost my partner because honestly, that was really dangerous. You could have died that day.
I could have died that day.
So then he jumped on the back with me. We left the bike submerged underwater in the riverbed. And then we rode for 10 minutes at about 90 miles an hour, and I got him to the local
He's
place.
freezing.
Yeah, -6 degrees. Hypothermia kicking in.
Hypothermia's not even kicked in yet because I've got my big puffy jacket. I'm trying to block him, right? And the adrenaline from running.
Dun, dun, dun.
Anyways, long story short, those very few 20 hours of the weekend, let me just put it to you this way. I could have went away to Aruba for a week, the amount of money that I fucking lost. Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, all right.
But
so
the
there,
tan
now that
would have
everybody
been
knows.
gone, long gone, man.
But it was an experience.
No.
What do we do during the day?
Nothing.
Well, honestly, that's a good question.
Like, what do we do? What's like your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
work.
Monday, basically, I come back from the farm. It's time to start the week. I always love to listen to our podcast and motivate us for the rest of the week. And I had...
There's something a little strange about
No, I actually
the
love.
podcast
I love
hosts
listening to
their-
ourselves. I
Yeah.
really do. I get a real kick out of it. Sometimes I wonder, where was I all these years? Like, why didn't I snap out of it earlier?
I'll be honest, I listen to it too.
I listen to it when I get it.
Monday's always a great day for me. Starts the week off. We start the guys off. You know, we get to see how they're feeling, if they were sick on the weekend, hangovers, whatever else. The beginning of our week, the customers are always happy and anxious to see us start because they want the project finished. No matter how nice they are and how they seem to be working with us and they're understandable, they want their houses back.
Yeah.
Monday, typically we meet for a podcast after work. Usually we leave work around 5 o'clock. Try to meet up.
Yeah, can you
beat
believe that we're
the
fitting
downtown
this,
traffic?
We're fitting this into our regular,
Yeah.
Just
everyday-
that's another thing on top of the busy
and
schedule.
then I have to deal with Mike looking for parking.
Not today.
It's an hour. No, not today.
Yeah, treated like a king today. Parking only.
Yeah, parking only.
Typically, that takes us into a couple hours, and then we do some time crunching for new projects up and coming that I can't wait to share with people. Tuesday, catch up day, or working on other projects up and coming that are secretive still.
Wednesday. Secretive.
Yeah, we got some good ones coming, man.
Wednesday typically is my only day off for me. Mike has to spend
Oh, you
some
mean
time.
personal downtime?
Yeah,
Well, I got you. Okay.
Okay, we're not talking about 9 to 5 here. We're talking about.
Well, we're just talking in general,
talking
right?
about in
What do you
general,
mean
our
day
lives.
off? You have a day off every
Well,
Wednesday?
after work.
Oh, after
5
work.
o'clock
Yeah,
or
okay.
6 o'clock or
No,
7
Mikey,
o'clock.
he's been going to work and not working, and then you've been.
Oh
paying
no,
him.
whatever. He can do whatever he wants. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we're not going to get anywhere that way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah.
So
cool.
Wednesday
Yeah.
usually gives us a leeway of a day off. Thursday, after a hard day of work, I go to the gun range. I spend time. I know a lot of people don't.
Every week you do that?
Every week.
Every week.
Me and my wife.
How long have you been doing that?
Now it's been almost coming up to 2 years.
Have you gone, Mikey?
Shooting? No, dude. I'm as normal as they come. I don't.
There's
shoot
nothing
guns.
Depends. Hang on a sec. Yeah, exactly. You can go to the States and shooting is pretty normal.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I'm not a gun guy.
I don't know if I'm not a gun guy. I'm dying to shoot, man.
I'm not.
I would
I'm not
love to at the
interested in
farm,
it.
buddy. That's what I thought we were going to do. But then I know I flipped the fucking ATV.
teach his own. So-
Everyone's got their own thing.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, that's totally cool.
Oh, man.
No, but Manny, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Monday to Monday.
Monday to Friday. I'm doing the same hours that you guys doing, probably not as long the hours. I don't do it on the weekends. Weekends, I kind of give up Saturday to focus on my marketing, my social media, and now the podcast.
Yeah.
And
Thank
then
you.
And Sundays, I try to kind of have some downtime for myself. I've been known to hop into my my personal vehicle because as much as the Sprinter vans are sexy work vehicles, so I like hopping onto my personal vehicle, and if the warmer weather is nicer, I get on the two wheels.
Yeah,
and
nice.
I'll
Good for you.
ride a nice little distance, or I'll drive a nice little distance, and I'll actually do it just to go get an espresso.
Let me
That's
guess.
amazing.
By yourself.
Of course.
No, it's great. It's great. You know,
But it's nice and quiet. And,
Yeah.
and funny enough is that when I get into the car, it depends on my state of mind. The jazz is playing.
wow.
An old school jazz. So
Wow.
like I've got thousands. And so I'm just, first of all, I'm driving like Miss Daisy. I'm not speeding because I'm not in a hurry to get, it's my time to kind of just unplug.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got the jazz playing. Things are calm. Speed limit's totally cool. I'm enjoying the sun, winter, whatever. It doesn't
Till
matter.
Mike drives by you.
Till some asshole in a Dodge truck. No. And then I just make my way to whichever cafe that I want to go to, and I go grab an espresso, and I'll grab a little treat, a cannoli. It could be a custard tart. It could be natto, whatever. The point is just to sit down and relax, and I just take my time, and then I spend the rest of the day just traveling around and doing whatever I want to do.
You know, we got a kind of similar life. I mean, right now, I already sold my bike.
You sold it?
I sold it. I had
What
no one to
the-
ride with. I'm more of a social rider. I found it difficult that nobody was riding.
I know.
And no one had time for it.
I know.
And I enjoyed riding. I'm a little bit more aggressive rider. I was
I'm
crotchet
not.
rocket
I'm not.
riders. I learned to stay alive, so that meant staying aggressive.
Really?
Yeah, I found that on crotch rocket, no one's paying attention for you, like to you or seeing you. So whenever I'm stopping, I look back and I get eye contact pretty much with the driver behind me, and they usually stare at me. And once I see eye contact, I can basically stop, and I'm paying attention to stopping and the guy behind me. Always paid attention
I
to
honestly
that.
believe that if you ride, you're a better driver overall.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think those two are really important. But even more important, I'm actually going for my private pilot's license.
What the f-
right now it's
amazing, eh?
right
Is this
now.
the international man of mystery here? What's going on here?
The last year, it's been on freeze. My wife and me have been really busy, and I haven't been able to finish it. She wants to do it with me.
Do you want to hear something funny?
Yes.
I actually started it just before film school.
No way.
Yes, I did, but then I gave it up.
Why?
There was too much fucking going on in my life. Like there was just literally too much going on, and I was like, this is a huge commitment, man. There's like I can't do this.
For me, it was one of the most exciting things I did.
I loved it.
Because
Trust me, I loved
it
it.
opened my mind up to the atmosphere, weather, planning, preparation for a road trip. I mean, fuel, weight. There's so much involved.
What were you doing, Mikey?
What was I doing?
In general, what's your extracurricular kind
You know what? Like I said, nothing too eccentric, man. And I mean, I come home from work, see my beautiful wife, my daughter, and I try to spend as much time as possible with them. There's always something going on with my kid. Like it's, gymnastics or it's swimming or dancing or Croatian class or, you know what I mean? Like there's always something going on. For me, that's my relaxation point, and yes, even the weekends dedicated to them, right? So,
But unfortunately, he doesn't want to join me at the farm. He's only joined me
not
once.
true. You got a
Destroyed my bike. Destroyed my bike.
Maybe I did it on purpose.
Ate all my spadooch.
Oh, buddy, that's not true. I would love to come up to the
But
farm.
let
man.
me tell you guys something. Not only on the weekends do I go up to the farm, I have a wife that's a pyro. So I'll cut trees down and she'll burn.
Jesus
And
Christ.
you've never
See, this
seen
is
a
why I don't wanna
happier.
go to the farm.
You've never seen a happier couple.
Yeah.
I cut the trees,
It could be
split
relaxing.
them up, and
if anything,
she burns.
just to relax, relax and flip ATVs.
I spend Friday to
Farming.
basically Monday night, like Monday morning, Sunday night, coming back from the
See,
farm.
that's interesting because I'm a hotel boy. I'm not a camper. I'm not.
I think you're missing a lot. of
No,
life.
man, I've done it. I've tried it. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, but you never
I
tried it.
fucking
You never
love
tried it at Camp
hotel
Carlito.
rooms. No.
Camp Carlito.
No,
We have huge
no,
bonfires, lots of
no,
spadooch,
no.
and if you're a drinker, you
Century
will
old
find a bush.
hotels. No, man.
No, and actually, the going up there is pretty cool, man. He does have a pretty kick-ass setup.
You're never gonna convince me, man.
No,
No,
I'm,
you're
I'm
coming
just
up.
saying, man. Like I'm
You're never
down.
gonna convince me.
I'd
I
love
won't
to
go
go back
ATV
down.
and tell you that much. So take us way back, Mikey. Take us way back to Mikey Land.
How far back do you want me to
Well,
go?
I don't want to get to fucking diapers and shit in your pants. No, but I mean,
No, unless there's a good story with it.
Oh, it was fun. Though. It was fun to shit my pants in diapers. I had no care in the world.
You remember
Nothing's
that?
changed.
You remember all that?
No, I don't remember any of that.
So what was Mikey like, man? High school years. What about high school years?
Okay, well.
Okay, so you're shitting your pants when you're a baby.
Yeah.
Let's fast
High school,
forward.
I was a pretty cool kid, man. High school was all right. I loved high school. I'm sure everybody will say the exact same thing. High school was
What were
amazing.
you like? What were you really good at in high school?
Gym?
I didn't say who.
Oh, come on. I want to hear if you were a stud or not. Okay?
Yeah, no, actually, I don't know. I'd like to think I was. I mean, I wasn't. It wasn't very quiet. Yeah, I had a large group of friends. I still have those friends. Like it's like I said, growing up in Malton was amazing. With respects to work, yeah. I mean, don't you guys want to know how Mikey got into everything?
I want to know how. Yeah, that's what we're asking.
Dude, you're talking. We're listening.
So what's pretty funny is I actually started 13 years old. I actually worked on a golf course.
As a golf ball.
A goofball? No. Yeah, no, it was awesome. I loved it.
What were you doing?
I was basically like a grounds crew. I was raking bunkers. I was filling in divots. I was 13 years old, man. It was a paying job.
I don't know much about golf. What's a bunker?
I love golf, guys.
What's a
Mikey,
bunker?
I love golf. Golf is
What's a
amazing.
bunker, Mikey?
A bunker is like a sand pit it's like an obstacle you want to avoid on the course.
So why don't we just call it a sandpit then?
No, it's called a bunker.
Oh, fuck.
We'll
I
just
know
leave
there's
it
all
at that.
these stupid rules with golf.
But yeah, that's what I would do. Like I started there. I was 13. It was awesome. I was riding those golf carts around, driving from holes to hole, raking bunkers.
Was your favorite movie Caddyshack?
That was one of my
Well, it
favorite.
was not bad, yeah. Happy Gilmore.
I'm all right.
We just had fun driving the golf carts, to be honest. And some of them, the Cushmans, the three-wheelers, were standard. So I'm 13 years old.
Standard?
Yeah, I'm 13 years old, and we're ripping this shit down the course. Fucking, the members are looking at us like we're a bunch of retards. I'm like, hey, man, sorry, buddy, I'm 13. You know what I mean? I'm having some fun with this shit. Anyways,
until he rolls it.
Yeah, exactly. Into a creek. We all know what.
Wait a
You know
second.
what?
Let's talk
that's
about something
another
else.
story altogether. Goddamn ATVs. Anyways,
Fast forward 20 years and what happens?
and then obviously I went to school. I went to college. Whatever. I was doing all that fun jazz.
What were you studying there?
19. I don't even want to say it.
Okay, don't. What?
No, let's hear it.
Oh, dude,
I'm curious.
Culinary?
Oh my God. So I loved being on the golf course so much that I actually went to school for horticulture.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. What's disappointing to know is that you love golfing so much. Why did you end up in construction? You have no time for golf.
Well, I'll tell you how. I ended up taking this landscape construction job, and I worked like a fucking donkey. I was digging like that's where
By
I
the
got
way,
my
donkeys
work.
don't dig.
I was digging like a fucking armadillo. Anyways, at the end of the day, I actually liked it. It was a lot of work. It was physical. I mean, I never had to go to the gym. I was ripped. Nice tan going on. You're 17, 18 years old. Come on, guys. You guys are looking at me like fucking...
This guy definitely had a mirror in every room.
No, negative. Not in every room. All the ceilings, though.
Hi.
Anyways,
He purposely created puddles just to puddles.
that's all, folks.
You know the joke, all right?
Shut up. So anyways, that was me in a nutshell. Worked my ass off doing the landscaping thing. Got pretty good at it, actually. Was promoted a few times. And then...
How old were you at this time?
I did landscaping from basically 19 till about 26. I loved it. And I kept doing it, but I started Creatix when I was 24. While I was doing the landscaping, because I also
Why
loved
though?
tulips.
Why?
Because
There's a reason for it. So
Something asked you to do it.
No, yeah, exactly. We're working at people's houses. We're doing the landscaping outside, and we're working. Like, I mean, digging holes, laying brick, driveways, armor stone, you name it. We were putting it down, and I always saw construction, like renovators going into people's houses, and I saw these tools coming into the house. I saw. I witnessed everything. And while we were there were sometimes renovations going on in some of the same houses that we were doing the landscaping. I got to know the carpenters, and I'm like, wow, it's pretty cool, man. I'd go into the houses and I'd see all this finished work, and I'm thinking to myself, fuck me, man. I'm outside working like a donkey. Sorry, donkeys don't work. Actually, donkeys do work hard. I'm working outside. The sun is beating down. We're constantly like physically active. Our bosses were like, go, go, go. This needs to get done.
Probably Portuguese guys pushing them.
No. They were Italian.
That's
In
a
fact,
stereotype.
it was one of my best friends. In fact, it was my best friend's older brother's company. That's how I got
I
started.
can picture Mike at the windowsill
the-
like this, looking inside.
Yeah,
going, I could be a contractor.
Yeah,
And the money was
looking
good.
looking at the spadooch.
And the money was good. The money was great, actually.
The money was better than landscaping.
the money was the landscaping money was good, is what I'm saying.
That's what I always thought. The landscaping money was always
Oh, it's
better.
great money.
But
It's
you don't,
great money.
you don't
You're
work year
busting your ass
round. You
for
start
it.
plowing the snow after
Yeah,
that.
that's the thing. The problem with the landscaping was that was it. I may have stayed if I would have lived in Florida. If it was summer all season, I couldn't do what I didn't want to do. I did the snow plowing as well. You know, the unemployment insurance, doing snow plowing, won't get paid till friggin' February.
Those are lonely nights.
But I
Those are the
constantly
80s.
was watching people going into other people's houses while we were landscaping and they were renovating. And that became something that I just couldn't turn away from. So I ended up buying tools. I started buying tools even though I didn't need them. Like I bought a chop saw. My dad's like, the fuck you gonna do with that, man? I'm like, I don't know. I like it. I like it. It was all DeWalt, by the way. Anyways, so at the end of the day...
this podcast is not brought to you by DeWalt.
Oh, but it could be.
But it's not.
Shut up, Carlito. Anyways, so there I was watching other people doing something, and I wanted to look into it, and I did. You ready for this? Guess where I started? In the insurance business.
Oh my!
we talked about this.
So
Well,
I did.
We're getting to this.
I did my mold remediation, and I had all that licensing going. I got all of that through the insurance companies. I slowly started to tell the landscaping company that, you know, wasn't for me anymore. I wanted to try and start construction, renovations, carpentry. You know what I mean? I wanted to veer in different directions. Just ended up happening that way. I actually worked with some pretty good guys in the insurance company. I know they're a bunch of hacks, but the one guy that I was with most of the time helped me out a lot, taught me a lot, and then I progressively started loving it more and
So
more.
how did you learn? You just learned from watching other guys?
I was watching other guys. Oh yeah, no, but I did at some. When did I take my? I did my licensing online. So I ended up getting the Red Seal license. I was passionate about it, man. I still am. Like obviously,
You got your red
But-
seal in what?
I got my Red Seal license online. I ended up taking
For
that-
landscaping?
No.
for carpentry.
framing.
You did? I
Yeah,
didn't know
man.
that.
Yeah, I told you that.
Wow.
Man. You just keep saying I'm an idiot.
I thought you said that was a Cracker Jack box and you won something in
I
it.
did. It
ring.
came in.
Something to
It
do
came
with
in
a
the
ring.
honeycombs, man.
So while
Anyway,
he's doing that in his 20... Sorry, was there
I was
more?
doing that. Yeah, I was doing
Holy
that basically up until So, but I also did start. I stayed with the landscaping company for 2 more years, but I started my Creatix Contracting company on the side, just like everybody else.
So where did
You know
the
what I
name
mean?
Creatix come from?
You know what?
I don't
Me
think
and
you
my
ever told me
brother-
that.
He was
I don't
trying to
think
create
you're
something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was like, I want to create the world of your dreams.
But the
And then
Creatix.
creative was one of it. It was going to be creative contracting. And then I
Okay.
just said, no, I'm cool, man. I want an X. I want an X. I want it to be
Makes
something,
sense.
you know, like with an X at the end. I don't know what the hell came over me, but called it Creatix. And the logo is Creatix Contracting, obviously creating the world of your dreams.
In my early 20s, I bounced around. I was like, I did landscaping
Oh no,
for a
but I
couple of
did
summers.
bounce around as well.
Yeah.
Like I did the insurance companies, and then I worked for a kitchen cabinet company, which I was making some pretty damn good
Oh,
money.
there's
man.
no markup on kitchen cabinets.
Oh,
what are you
no,
talking
No,
about?
only
no.
250,000%.
Fuck.
I was kicking ass, but then the phone calls started coming in from my side business. And then I just told my boss, respectively,
Then the
I've
side
never burned
business-
bridges, never, ever, never
si-
burned any bridges with anybody.
I've got plenty of matches for you if you want.
Yeah, I know you do, Manny. But yeah, no, my matches are still intact. So, anyways, at the end of the day, that was it. And then I started slowly doing basements. I mean, under supervision, my dad would come out, pretty good what he was doing. Like he knew a lot about it, actually. Back in the day, they're tiling. He won't use any clips. He's
No,
one of the
because
old school.
old school
Well, back
guys
then,
versus
though,
new
too.
tricks, right? They don't want to. They
Yeah.
don't want to try something new. They don't want to feel uncomfortable.
But yeah, so I started just veering off into that. I had some contacts going along the way, and then the whole thing was I was instilled with make sure you keep the quality high and just be honest. And that's what I
Well,
went
how
with.
did you get that out of insurance?
I worked with, like I said,
Yeah.
I worked with some pretty good guys, man.
Not
they
hacks?
actually gave a shit.
No hacks, eh?
No, no. The company was filled with hacks, but the crew that I was on, he was a great leader. Great leader.
Wicked. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah, no, great leader.
So-
He
so
actually gave a shit. He
As we
coped all his
continue here
corners.
at the Mike DiMartino podcast,
Oh,
Yeah, I got nothing to talk about.
I
Only
think,
a minute.
you and me have been trying to get in here at some
best part
point.
is it's over now. It's all
Oh,
on
it's
to
not
you
over.
guys.
That was your 20s, and that was it,
Yeah.
man. I'm trying to get to the certain stages. Like, he started in his tweens, 20s, 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's where I started. I was there for a bit, couple of years, 2-3 years, actually maybe a little bit more. It was the summers. So that kept me busy in high school. And then I got into landscaping, hardscape landscaping. So it was all like interlock, armor stone, no plant. Well, actually, we planted big trees. It
You
was
must have
pretty
had
cool.
a serious tan all
Well,
through high school,
All the time, all day, every day.
Anything next to you is a big tree.
That juniper over there. Is that a juniper tree?
Hey, is that a 6
Manny,
foot tree? That's huge.
Can you take that knife out of my back? Anyways,
Oh, by the way,
right,
before we
hardscaping.
lose this, I was always at the 4th hole at the Toronto Golf Club. It was a private club. I would sit at the 4th hole when the guys would shoot the balls. I would run out and steal them, and then I'd sell them to other golfers in the public golf course.
so you're one of those
you were a ball
assholes.
boy.
You would never be able to do that.
They never knew that, but I would jump the fence real fast, and then we started cutting the fence open, and then we started collecting
Oh,
balls.
okay. Then maybe you might have. It was a private course. They made sure that there was no
At
outsiders.
night there was
No, I'm
dogs
saying,
running around.
That's where I worked.
What the-
Rosedale was private.
Yeah.
There's a whole underbelly world in the golf.
And another thing is, I lived in a golf course for many years too, because that's where we'd go snowboarding or tobogganing
In the winter, yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
was like
awesome.
the best place to go.
So you're hardscaping now.
Yeah, so I got into landscaping. It was because one of my best friend's brothers owned the company and paid really well.
I get the sense that you don't like talking about yourself.
Wait a second.
You know what?
Why
You're
would they
fine.
hire you?
Because, buddy, I was a worker. I worked hard. I busted my ass. In fact, they'll tell you till this day, thank you, Mike, for fucking making us who we were. I busted my ass for those guys.
Actually, believe it or not, a couple times we've had to use the
Quick cut.
Quick cut.
Yeah.
This guy like jumps on and he's like, "Oh, I've been doing this my
Yeah, I
whole
love
life."
it. I love it. I love it. Any of that stuff. But yeah, that's it. I mean,
And
yeah,
you'd be
you're
proud
right
of
though,
him.
Manny. I
He
don't.
he cuts it like a Portuguese guy.
I really don't like talking about myself.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't.
Listen, man, you're on a podcast now.
I know. No, it's all
bring
good.
the
Just so you
fucking
guys
ego.
know, I'm just handing over some Kleenex to
It's
Mike
all
right
good.
now.
But why would you even get that impression?
What, that you don't like talking about yourself? Because you don't like talking about yourself. I'm not the brightest bulb, but I do sense that certain people don't like doing certain things. Listen,
Yeah.
trust me, man. I'm a fucking introvert. I am a very quiet individual, man. I get loud if you fuck up, and it's a royal fuck up. Most of the time, like once I hit my 40s, it's fucking flat. It's flatline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm
I'm not
calm
there
and
yet.
collected, man.
So.
Well, you are at 39, right?
39. Yeah.
So maybe next year he'll flatline.
Maybe.
Well, you know what? If you put a secret mic on this guy doesn't stop talking.
I never got that sense from any of his Instagram posts.
Yeah.
We're putting pressure on ourselves. We don't have much time to do this.
I'm itching to take a break. Remember when I took a little break?
That's what I did. That's what it is. That's what it's about. I had to stop it, man.
Take a break, man. You don't
Just
have
had to
to
stop
feed
it
that
for a bit.
machine
But
every
I'm
single
definitely
day.
coming back strong. We're coming back.
This year alone, I've taken 3 trips. I don't know why.
Where the fuck have you gone?
I went to Arizona. Saw
When?
some of my friends.
When was this?
4 or 5 months ago.
Roughly, yeah.
To Calgary. Did a little tour across Calgary. Calgary Stampedes. Obviously, I like cows and horses
fucking
and bulls.
cowboy.
Yeah.
No shit.
Wrangler, baby.
Oh my
Ford all the way. No, I got family down there, so we went down there, and we had a lot of fun in Banff. Hot springs.
I've been to Banff. I've been there.
Beautiful, man. We went up on the mountain. I played with goats. I love goats, eh?
Oh, God.
Rams and goats, man. You can't get me to get away from them, all right?
Jesus Christ.
You got to remember, I actually am a farmer. People don't believe it. I was playing with chickens when I was a kid. Someone would have a dog or a cat. I had 2 chickens in my hand. I'm going to bring you guys pictures next time I come in.
You're in high school,
Yep.
driving around a Honda Civic all souped up.
No.
No? IROC?
Ford Aerostar.
Really?
Ford
van.
Aerostar,
Yeah,
man.
man. I drove around a blue
The old
van.
man's van.
The
Front
old
wheel
man's
drive.
van.
They did
Front wheel
burnouts.
drive, yeah.
That was one of the ugliest fucking minivans.
It was.
ever.
I
Actually,
loved
I
it. It
like
looked
the
like a
Aerostar.
dustbuster.
My
I like
God.
mine.
I know
I actually
you
put
were
big
fast.
tires on it,
I
fat tires on
know.
the back. It looked pretty sick. It was
Fucking
nice.
ugly. Minivans,
I loved it,
minivans
man.
are ugly. I'm sorry, man.
man,
I'm
that
sorry
was
for you
that
people
nice.
that have
The
like
Aerostar
3
was
kids
the
because
real-
You're a minivan.
I liked
man.
it.
That was the first real cool
Minivan.
Minivan.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved it. My buddy had a gray one. He owned a deli, and we'd fly around in that thing.
We
It
could
was
do a whole
wicked.
podcast about arguing if the Aerostar Ford was the coolest looking minivan, but it wasn't. I'm sorry to
I
say.
can't
man.
picture you driving
It
a
was.
van.
It totally was.
What color was it?
It was light blue.
Here's a question for you guys. Light blue. So that was, what year was that?
Like
The
your
Aerostar?
T-shirt
Okay, so wait, that's
that
different,
everybody
though.
can see right now.
That's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's a podcast show, right?
know, exactly.
What color? So it was blue. What color was your old man's car way back in the day?
He had an Impala convertible. It was blue.
My dad it was a Malibu station wagon, shit brown,
Wow.
shit brown.
Shit brown.
Shit brown.
And he used to always pile it up with bricks in the
You know
back
what?
there, man.
I'm gonna bring some pictures in next time just to make some jokes.
The
man.
Aerostar, man. Yeah.
So
Holy
yours
cow.
was blue and his was blue and mine was shit brown?
So he would pick up all the kids. They loved being in the convertible, but in the back seat, my dad's a real joker. It was at one time. He had this priest in the back. You ever seen this? No. So he's got this priest in the back, and whenever my friends would come, I'd be like, "Hey guys, get here!" And my dad would be driving, and I'd poke the head down, and the priest's boner would come up, and then everyone would hit the ground laughing, and I could be like, "Ding, ding, ding, ding."
I've seen that toy.
Oh man, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's
He
us.
really messed me up.
My first car that I actually owned,
Mine was a pickup truck, Toyota diesel. Fucking piece of
Infinity
shit.
G20.
Wow.
Mine was an Infinity G20.
What the fuck?
A touring.
Really?
Yeah, but it wasn't anything. It was used. It was geez, what was?
Let me guess. It was
2000.
champagne gold.
No, it was silver, like a silver color. I actually liked the car. It was nice.
Anybody want to tell me the difference between champagne gold and silver?
One's champagne gold, the other one's silver.
They're both fucking silver, man.
Shut up. Funny.
That was my first car, and then I don't know what the fuck.
Mine was a Toyota fucking diesel silver, fucking gray piece of shit.
My first
I was in third gear by the time I crossed the intersection.
My first car was a 74 Firebird.
T-roof?
I wasn't even 16 yet. No, hardtop. But it had air shocks in the back, so we'd pump it up. It also had a 40 cam in it. We
This
worked
is a
on
podcast,
it.
but I could totally fucking picture that.
I also had a little Honda Civic. We called it the Cheese Bug. I painted it canary yellow. Everyone used to make fun of me at school. I had the little cucaracha horn and the little steering wheel for the handcuffs. It was pretty funny. I'd pull up at school and I'd play that. But I wasn't even 16 at the time. So I was working on this in the garage with my buddies. Back then it was different, man. I mean, we would drive around with no licenses. I'm not even joking to you. I don't know if you're... Manny, do you remember that? Like, I drove around all the time.
I never did. I never did
No,
that.
I did.
I didn't.
I drove around all the time, and the local cops all knew
I
who
would
I was.
steal my dad. I would steal my dad's car in the middle of the night to go drive with the buddies and shit like that. But I never drove without a license.
I drove around without a license many times.
That's crazy.
That says a lot about Carlito.
We would be doing burnouts. We used to drive motorcycles through the ditches and parks. Oh man, we had so
Wow.
much fun. I think we were all brought up differently.
Guys, 100%. Yeah, we are all three of us are.
But we all get along, man. We all get along because of the construction lives.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
So now you're hardscaping out of school.
Yep.
You're in the same boat that we are when we left high school, right?
I don't know, but I'm still looking for this Gino car because I can see a Gino car coming up.
GTI.
It's a Gino car.
There it is. Black.
I had a black GTI.
Black.
It wasn't a Gino car, man. I love that thing. That thing was awesome.
That was a Gino car.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I suppose.
That was a Gino car. I'm
It's
sorry
okay.
to
You're
say.
Italian. You're allowed to be. I'm quarter Italian, so I'm okay to say it.
No, it's all good, man.
Hang on,
I don't care.
so when was your first pickup truck?
First pickup truck was when I was
I'm
20.
assuming every contractor has their first pickup truck.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go. I want to hear
ahead.
this.
Ford F-150. When I was 24 years old, and it was, Jesus Christ, what year was that truck? 2000, or no, it was a 99. It was a 99 because I bought it used.
I was not a pickup truck guy. I was a van guy.
You had a van, panel van?
I've had like 5 vans.
Did you have puppies and a couch?
I had a blow-up mattress. And I had an air compressor underneath and a lot of milk cartons. My buddies all would sit on a milk carton. We'd go to the clubs together. I used it for everything.
Talk about a
mattress
van.
full.
Well, you know, I was
Exactly.
entertaining at the time.
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
very romantic
yeah.
guy. We hung out.
Carlito.
Come on, hang on. We hung out at the beaches. This was when the cops were really cool. The communities were cool. So
Are
we would
you
go
saying cops aren't cool now?
No, they are cool, but the problem is that guys like us have abused the system. We used to go to Jack Darling Park and hang out at the
we
beach.
must have crossed paths.
Q
man.
Beach.
Seriously.
Like, when I went looking,
guys for sure.
when I went
Yeah.
looking for parties, we would go to the beach. There was fires on the beach, people playing guitar on the beach. All my friends were at the beach. We always just got a truck full of guys and we'd go down to the beach. If it wasn't Wasaga, Sabo, we were always at a beach.
We all did that. Yeah, the Wasaga Beach thing. What the hell's the place called?
No, but even in Toronto, all these beaches were accessible and you could have fires on them.
I rode a bicycle
amazing.
from downtown to Wasaga.
That's a mission, dude.
that is a
No,
mission.
there was a period in time with my group of friends when we used to ride every summer. We would just come up with it, and then it started off with one guy dating somebody in London, Ontario. So then we said, "Why don't we ride?"
Wow.
So it was like a 6-hour ride at that point.
Oh
then
my
the next
God.
year came along, and then it became Niagara
What
Falls.
kind of bike?
I had a Bianchi.
Bianchi, wow.
Oh
Holy
yeah,
cow.
I back then. And
Don't tell me it was purple, pink.
No, it was black. It was black.
Oh, nice.
I paid like 5.5,
Yeah.
and it was a nice bike. I had it for a long time until I got the motorcycle.
Yeah,
Let's
so
just change it.
that's where you got into motorcycling.
Yeah, because then as soon as I got into motorcycling, the bicycle wasn't fast enough for me or interested
Wow,
enough.
you know,
right?
that's you and me are a lot alike. I mean, I rode bike and mountain bikes, but did you ride bikes?
No.
Tricycle?
Like-
Dude, you're telling me that
Like bicycles?
in one breath, you're telling me that phys ed was your favorite.
Yeah.
Are you saying
And no
bicycles or
bicycle-
motorcycles?
No, bicycles.
Yes, of course I rode bikes.
What was your bicycle? BMX kind of
Oh
thing?
yeah, I think it was called the Grasshopper.
Had to been-
had a grasshopper.
You had a
BMX. I had a grasshopper when I was a kid.
Did that have training wheels?
Yes, big ones with 6-foot trees.
You know what, though? In all fairness, I did like the banana seat, man.
Dude, you haven't seen my bikes. I to this day have beach bikes with 300 spokes, licorice twist, handlebars,
Serious?
yeah, ape hangers.
Holy cow!
International man.
Dude, I've got a Springer front end on this thing.
Well, that's another thing too, man. And with respects to you're saying phys ed, I was I'm huge into hockey. I played hockey all my life.
Okay, so my question is,
ball
why-
hockey.
why-
We went to the All Ontarios. Like, dude, I was ice hockey, ball hockey.
Why are you a contractor and not a phys ed teacher?
Because
that's a good point,
what are you
man.
talking about? Because I just I like contracting. I like construction. I got into construction after the landscaping bit, and I never looked back.
Did the pickup truck come first or the contracting come first? No, the contracting.
No, the construction came first. I got into cabinet making, and then after the landscaping,
With a car.
Yeah, yeah.
When did the Infinity come along?
That came when I was in landscaping. So tailing off onto
so the
the
Infinity
landscape.
turned into the pickup truck.
And you know what? You guys are gonna laugh. Before the pickup truck, I had a Kia Sorento.
I don't even know
It's
what
an
that is.
SUV.
It's a little salsa and
Yeah.
some nachos and stuff like that.
Had an SUV, and that pretty much started me because the seats would go down, and I could fit all my toolboxes back there, all that shit. And then
But can you fit a mattress in some milk
no,
crates?
no mattress, no milk cartons. But yeah, no, like I said though, hockey took up a good part of my life. I mean, clubs, went partying, man. We did all kinds. I did everything, you know.
I wasn't really a party though.
Oh, we went every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. it was a club. I was in the clubs.
Well, I'll just keep it at I knew where every party
Yeah,
was.
exactly. He was killing fucking. Yeah. No, we get it. But yeah, so a bigger part, like I said, I was big into hockey. I'm a huge Leaf fan, huge Maple Leaf fan.
I don't give a shit about
I love
sports.
hockey. I love.
You know what?
sports.
I was
love
never
sports.
into sports myself.
I do not
We
follow
are all
sports.
very different.
Yeah, my
completely.
father always wanted me to get into soccer.
I played soccer. I loved soccer. I
Couldn't
still
get into
do.
it.
Yeah.
Tried to play football. Couldn't get into it.
Played football.
Every single sport I ever got into, I did the same thing. I always got into fights, and that's what led me into martial arts. Wrestling was the only thing that I loved in school because
Get into a fight? No.
I loved getting choked and getting people choking people. Throwing people,
Well, now
getting
it's-
thrown.
It's just
Driving without a license, stealing golf balls, choking
he's
people.
pretty awesome, man.
Why don't you hire this contractor for your house?
Remember, we were kids.
Yeah, exactly.
We're grown men now. It's different.
But now I know all the tricks, so you can't lie to me.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you try to bullshit me, you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Exactly.
So Manny, you're trying to tell me you've been a good boy your whole life?
Bullshit.
No,
I like that. Oh,
no.
oh come on, man. Let's get some juicy stuff out of
I
here.
haven't been caught. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know,
I'm very secretive.
that's
about
what my friends
I
used to
have
say.
done.
You're a pro until you get caught. Once you get caught, you're not a pro anymore.
I'm still a pro.
There you go.
Oh, come on. You know, being a kid, you're always experimenting, right?
What about you? No trouble with the law?
No. To be honest, not really, man.
Getting Boy Scout, huh?
Never gotten shit with law. You know, stayed pretty good. I mean, it got into a couple of fights when I was a kid. Got into a couple of fights when we went to the bars. But nothing.
Fighting teddy bears doesn't count.
No. It wasn't teddy bears, man. Nothing drastic, but yeah, I wasn't the cleanest friggin' kid in the shed, but I wasn't a troublemaker, man.
Buddy, the first time I met you, I thought you were like real hard drugs and you had ADD to the max
I do
with a
have
Z
ADD.
on the end.
And Carlito's talking
Buddy.
to Mike, by the way, not me.
You were wired, dude.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm actually known for that.
I've never seen Mike wired.
I was like, Manny, honestly, the first time I met him, I was like, who the fuck is that
Even
guy?
the Energizer Bunny looks at him and goes, "What the fuck?"
He steals all the Energizer Bunny's rabbits have power.
That's funny. You're working at Nabisco. I was working at Michelle's Baguette as a busboy and worked my way up to baker. I was a busboy at 13 years old.
No way.
And then
Baker's here.
And then I got into baking, and then because it made more money and it was less.
And by the
work.
way, I just had some banana bread, dude. That was the best banana bread I ever had.
you learn a lot of tricks,
Dude, Manny,
man.
you really
learn a
surprised
lot
me.
of tricks.
I want to
man.
see your Durban mixes and your thin set next.
There's gonna be chocolate chips in there.
Why is there chocolate chips in there?
Exactly.
But and talking about myself, I'll continue on.
Wait, hang on a sec. What was he doing at our age?
He's
Buddy.
just turning that age.
I'm a complete different animal. I was always. I started work as well. 12.
Well,
13.
hang on. We're not that far away from each other.
No, dude. I'm 29.
He's 39. What were you guys doing in your early 20s?
Well, see, that's where everything changed for me.
Because, okay, so you get that drive in your 13, 14, and, you know, your early teens there, and then you do that for a few years, and then you finish high school, or you get out of high school, or whatever, and now you're getting into man land.
So where I really started to get into construction was my friends started having parties. I would be missing these parties and guys would have fights, smash holes through the walls, bust doors, and they would say, "Hey, Carlito, can you fix this for me?" and I would be like, "Yeah, sure, $25 an hour." Because at that time, I wasn't really pricing myself as a project or a job. I was pricing myself as hourly, and I would make them pay for the material. All of a sudden, I had a clientele. So
That's
I was
brilliant,
So I was
huh?
working at Nabisco. I was going to school, and now I was starting to work. And all of a sudden, someone had caught wind that I was doing that. They worked. Their wife worked with me at Nabisco. He needed a laborer. I had given him a friend. He had not showed up. The guy called me and said, "Hey, you know what? You put this guy's name on the line that he would show up for work, and since he's not here, you're taking his place." So I'm like, "You know what? Cool, man. I know your wife. She's really cool to me. I'll come to work for you for free." He's like, "No, I don't want it for free, but you're gonna work for me for the day until I get another guy." And I'm like, "No problem." I showed up, and the guy's like, "Dude, I want to work with you." And I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "I can't find anyone to work with." So he introduces me to an insurance company. I won't get into the names of the insurance companies just for my
You
own
too,
reasons.
huh?
Yeah.
DeWalt Insurance.
So they
I'm really
so
the
they
black sheep.
introduced me to them, and the guy said he'd hire me on. I swear, within 48 hours, this guy was like, "I cannot pay you hourly. I'm going to sub out to you." I already had my own van at the time. I had my own car. I had my own tools. I was planning to get into triplexes and houses. I wanted to get into real estate early on in the age.
This is your early 20s.
This is my early 20s. I'm not even in my 20s yet. I'm really not even in my 20s yet. All my friends are, it was a bit different time back then. You could buy a house with nothing down. You could, houses were cheap, man. You could buy houses between $150,000. I'm talking about a triplex here.
I know, but
a sixplex.
They were cheap, but the interest rates were high, man.
yeah, my parents were at. Yeah, it was really high.
Like,
Yeah,
do you
but
remember the interest rate
18,
days?
18,
yeah.
But I'll
18,
tell I'll
19.
tell you the truth. Right now, I
They're
have a
coming
few,
back, by the
I
way.
have a few friends right now that lived at home while they were 16 years old, and bought a place, lived at home. They rented it out. Now they are all married with kids, and those houses were paid off. And each one of those houses is worth over $1 million a piece. And they had bought one or two living at home, just enjoying life, and
Sacrifice.
the houses were being paid for.
Yep.
But anyways, I got into construction through insurance, and I learned how to hack. I was a professional hacker.
Wow.
I'm not saying that all insurance companies are hacks, but that you're in and out so fast you don't have a choice to put quality in there.
I've never been a fan of them.
Yeah, I
I'm
never.
sorry.
Anytime someone says the insurance company is doing something for them, I'd say, hey man, you know what? Just give me an extra 10,000 on top, and I'll take care of it.
There's so many, like when you actually get your insurance on your home, and they tell you exactly what you'll get if this happens, burns down or whatever, floods and all this other shit. You're like going, what the fuck are you talking about? The house is worth a lot more than that. But that's insurance. That's a whole other fucking topic. I don't give a shit, right? So I bounced around in my early 20s. I didn't go to post just yet because I was still trying to figure out my life, right? So I ended up working as a landscaper. I did that a couple of seasons, and I got a nice tan. I'm Portuguese, okay? So we're in the same boat.
Oh
okay?
yeah.
No, you're beige for sure, bro. Right, even now.
Yeah, I know. But I did that for a few, and I actually enjoyed it because I got outside. It's a physical job and stuff like that. But then I also got into painting murals. I was graphic design, graphic artist, and stuff like that.
My brother,
but then I
that's
felt it was time to go back to school. So I went back to school. I think it was like 21, 22. I went back to school, but I studied film.
Wow.
I went back to school because originally when I left high school, I was ready to go to study architecture. I was fascinated by architecture in my teens. But then when I was finished my teens and I was getting into my 20s, I was fascinated by film. I was fascinated by storytelling. So I went that route instead. So then I went to film school, did film school, enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, learned a lot of things. And then once I got out, no job. There's no job for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to hustle. And then I was good with my hands. So I hustled as a film technician, lighting technician, got into that industry, got into the union. Wasn't a fan, always butted heads with the union reps because it's just like there's a lot of money being taken out of my wages for your visits. So that's a whole other thing, but I don't want to talk about it right now. But
You do want to talk about it, I could tell.
But yeah, so that would have taken me to by the time it was my late 20s, I was actually doing really well in the film business, like directing commercials.
Well, that explains
enjoying that lifestyle.
That explains all the awesome vids.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff behind me on how I came up with my whole social media and how I do things and how I shoot and stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah, amazing.
But then the business tanked. The film business just tanked.
Oh, it tanked a few times.
Yeah, it's there's a cycle, and then you kind of weather the storm, you stay in and you struggle. But
that's where you need to save money so you can carry yourself.
Yeah, but I see
right?
a lot of my friends, and they, some of them have dependencies and shit like that, and shit happens, and all of a sudden you don't have the coin, and then you're doing something else. So I basically got out and I fell into construction.
Wow.
I was gonna ask you guys, was there a moment in your tweens, or even it could have been in your 20s? Was there a moment in your past that something happened to kind of tell you, I want to get into construction? I can tell you about mine. This is why I'm bringing up the question, right? I don't know exactly how old I was, but I probably was maybe 13 or 14. Could have been maybe 16. I'm not exactly sure. But it was one time that my dad was like, if you've got a bricklayer for a dad, everything in the house is made out of bricks.
Or concrete.
And it's made out of
everything.
different bricks too, right? So it's like leftover bricks from different job sites, right?
Yeah.
So, and I scratched my head about that, right? Because it's just like, it doesn't match the house, right? It goes, doesn't matter, right? So, but there was a moment where I remember vividly where he grabbed a brick, took his trowel, which I still have in my van, and he cut the brick with the trowel, like in one smooth move. Grabbed the brick, cut the brick, boom, laid it, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? It was like the lighting was perfect, everything was perfect, and you're fascinated by just the physical action of a construction laborer, of someone that's in the industry. That's fascinating to me. And then I think subconsciously I was told, like, you're going to be in construction, just because of that moment.
Wow.
That's funny, man.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Well, for me, if anyone knows me well, I've been in martial arts my whole life. So I've taken anything from karate to kung fu to Muay Thai to Hapkido. I've done a lot of martial arts in my lifetime. Done wrestling. I know some really. Anyways, I've done a lot of fighting along the way.
So you've talked yourself out of situations.
Well, no.
before.
Yeah, many times. But what I was going to get to is my mom's been my best friend. I think really that my mother started me in construction. So what had happened was everyone has a different household and a different way of being brought up. I'm a European household.
household, being a boy, I could pretty much come home 2 weeks later back in the day.
Yeah.
We speak really loud at home. We're very aggressive people when we're talking, even when we're having fun. I'm a loud person. My family's
that
loud.
That was my childhood. I'm assuming that was yours?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
So my father wanted me to play soccer. I wanted to fight. So my father had to give up, and my mom started taking me to martial arts. They would take their turns, and I ended up going on my own to martial arts eventually. Because anyways, I was doing martial arts early age. Not my father's choice, but that's what I wanted to do, and he kind of got stuck having to take me. Eventually, I started not being able to control myself, and the one thing I would do at home all the time is whenever I got out of hand, I'd smash a door in half or put a hole through a wall. Being a teenager, growing up, going through puberty, whatever else you want to talk about. So I'd smash a wall in. People would think that's really bad. My mom would just look at me nicely and say, "Now fix it." And honestly, I owe it to my mother that I learned how to repair things. Not even my father. My father would just say, "Garbage," and spit at me. But my mother would say, "Hey, it's okay. You let out your aggression. It wasn't the right place to put it, but you know what? I'm going to teach you something. You're going to learn how to fix that."
She showed you how to fix it?
My mother taught me how to be a man and repair things. So I started repairing things with my own money. Eventually, I started building things. I ended up getting a California raise, and I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah.
So what I used to do was I used to cut bars, and I would the outlet boxes or the cable boxes in the wall. I would turn them into jail cells, and I started plastering, and I started doing all these like really cool things. And my friends were like, "Wow, man, this is really wicked." And that's how a lot of people remembered me later on in the teens to fix things, because they always knew I was building things and fixing. So I really owe my mom. I owe it to my mom to say that she actually got me into construction, and she got my foot in the door, because she taught me how to take responsibility and fix something and get it done. At that point, I started to learn to maybe put my aggression in other places, and along the way, other people started to teach me how to make money. Not that I always made money, because my heart was bigger than my brain. When I got involved in something, I could never stop. So I just loved everything I did all the time. And anyways, I owe it to my mom for that. Sorry, Mike.
No, for what? What do you apologize?
I see brilliant. I see like, well, that's really boring.
No,
That wasn't boring.
I want to change how I started.
How did you start?
No,
Don't make it up. Tell us the truth.
I didn't make up anything.
We're
You
always
guys know
talking the truth here, okay?
I started exactly how I told you guys I started. For me, it was about the money.
Yeah, you're right. You know
It
what?
was about the
You
money.
should have changed it.
Yeah, there you go. See you later.
So we all went to military police school together. And in military police school, they would make us build teepees, refrigerators underground so animals couldn't get to them. We'd constantly be building things. I got hands-on at an early age from military police school, because that was part of our training. We had first aid, we had boxing night, sport night, we had a drill night, rifle drill night. We had a whole bunch of things, but we'd always be building lean-tos and using our ponchos to make small tents, and they taught us how to make fires properly. I think that also had something to do with maybe the engineering or
Problem solving.
the techniques that I started to pick up. But it's the little things in life that you'd never pay attention to when you're younger, that when you get older, you realize that those are the things what made you today, right? And that's why we're predictable.
Well, sorry.
No, go on.
Aside from me peeking into other people's houses while I was landscaping them, and watching.
I didn't say that.
Watching the guys
that's
do
what
the
he's
work
saying.
inside. The one thing that drove me was I knew that at some point I didn't want to be told what to do anymore. And I knew that I wanted to be a business owner, but I also knew that I was useless at anything else except working with my hands. And that's how I actually became
That's not
passionate.
true, by the way.
No, it's not true at all.
What
But
are you talking about?
There's more things that you're very good at outside of construction.
Well,
so
okay.
to say that you were useless for everything else, that's not true.
I'm
That's
just
what
saying, with respects to building a brand and building a company, this is where I felt most comfortable. Thank God I had the right guy teach me along the way in the hack business, insurance. I'm very grateful still to this day, and we still talk. That's where it came from me. It was passion about building a business that I knew I could succeed in.
But after that, though, you were self-taught, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. I'm still learning, Manny.
And you were self-taught.
well, Listen, I am self-taught. I never had a problem taking orders from someone that made sense. Like if someone,
Exactly.
I had no problem taking orders. I went to military police school. I was in martial arts. I learned to actually find out who was in charge or who had the most common sense, and I'd follow suit in proper order. So I never had a problem. As long as you made sense and it made sense. But the problem was my generation, they would put newspapers up on the wall and no one would ever share anything with you because there wasn't enough workers out. I felt like there wasn't enough, and they wouldn't teach you anything because they didn't want you to go and start something on your own. I had to learn the school of hard knocks. I would take on a project, not know how much materials were going to cost. That's why I did the hourly thing for so long.
But you learn.
Yeah, and then I started learning, and people would say, hey, man, you should be charging more for that. Your fuel, all these things you're not paying for. You know, you have to get insurance. You have to get.
There's more
so
than just
many
your
things
physical
involved.
action of doing the work.
Repairing the tools,
Yeah.
new blades.
Yeah.
You know, people that don't pay attention to those things, right?
So that takes us to our early to mid 20s, I guess. My question to you guys: when did you guys realize that you wanted to build a brand?
I knew that very early on. I knew that very extremely early 20s.
So when you started it and you started Creatix and you started putting it together, you were already thinking about this brand.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like
100%.
a construction business.
100%. We built.
I was the same.
There you go. I was part of a big build, Royal Ambassador. It's a massive banquet hall up in Caledon. And we were heavily involved in that. And that's where I also picked up a lot more skills. There was a lot of different trades in that. And I was fascinated by all of it. I was there for almost 3 years, man.
I can honestly say that I've learned something from everyone that I've worked with.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
There's always a technique.
There's always.
Something's passed on through a family,
Yes.
grandfather, a father,
Always.
a mother, whatever it may be, a sister, a brother. Something always passed on that you can learn from somebody.
For sure. Stop learning, stop living.
If
man.
you're not learning something, there's a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
There's so many people have so much to offer. Between 17 and 25, I had gone through 5 business partners. I had made good money. I had lost good money.
Are you getting a little nervous now, Mike?
shaking in my bones.
You know what? I worked with my heart. A lot of people will tell you what you want to hear. Then you find out who they really are. And
Dum,
then,
dum, dum.
I met in my
I've
in
been
my
through that.
older
Have you been through that, Mike?
Yeah.
In my late 20s, I did meet someone that mentored me for 10 years. We ended up having 30 guys working for us, 10 guys high-rise window cleaning. I ran 25 high-rise buildings in the city, a whole bunch of co-op buildings. I actually used to hire people from the shelter, and I actually pulled a few people out of the shelter where the government couldn't get them out to be independent and back in society. Back then at the day, to find someone, you could just go to a local shelter. And what people don't understand, they hear the word shelter, and the first thing they think of is a crackhead or a bum or an alcoholic.
It's true.
And it's
Yeah.
not, but it's not true.
No.
A lot of
the thinking, the mentality.
but
is
the
true.
truth is that if they were to give people a chance and an opportunity to just listen to them,
Completely agree.
really what I had found was there was really interesting people. So I got to know these people outside of their problems or them living on the street and being in shelters, and I got to know them as people. I learned things from them also. I learned about life that you wouldn't believe that you can learn from. Between 25 and 30, I had put a few people back into civilization, back into the order of things instead of living and being dependent on the government. They were now, had their own places. They were responsible. They had their life back again. And that was a really great feeling for me. I tried to push forward with that. And then I found out that it was just too hard. And I really wanted a business moving forward. I started getting into houses. I started flipping houses. I flipped some condos. We started doing some real estate. I really started enjoying that. Really, I was already in my 30s almost. I got an opportunity to be on a TV show. And I always watched these shows whenever I had a chance. The minute I joined on the show, I had realized that I forgot to learn. I forgot to educate myself. For the first time, found a team. At the beginning of that relationship, I had everything I was searching for and more. And now I had a place that I could do what I did best. Overkill or do above minimum code, do a great job, and no one would say, hey, no one cares. This was a place where I got to be myself. Okay, what really triggered you, Manny?
I was fascinated by the way century-old structures were built and still around.
Pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say that you were at a beach with a sandcastle.
I see you in the sand castle and like a cucumber and stabbing the castle with it.
That's another Manny in construction. I heard there's maybe one or two of them in construction. No, I was just like you and your travels and seeing Europe and how you absorb it. And I've seen Asia and I want to get to other parts of the world. I look at places that are built a certain way and I'm like, I want to figure out how they did that and why they did it that way and how
Yeah.
that's what fascinates me. So when I do my own projects here, I push my clients. I have to push my clients. So you'll never see me fucking agree with Shaker. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is.
Well, dude, that's why I'm not scared of rocks. In Croatia, they take prisoners, okay? And their job isn't to take a machine and bust rock. They get these guys with sledgehammers and spikes, and they break huge stones, like 6x6 stones, and they're crushing them and breaking them. And I'm like, I'm not afraid of no stinking stone.
I swear, my second or third big basement reno, we had a plumbing crew come in, and I swear he was Croatian. Now that you bring that up, and they had to break the concrete to run the new plumbing lines. And I was like, "Aren't you guys going to jackhammer that?" And he looks at me and he gives me this stupid look, right? Grabs the sledgehammer, and he demolished that concrete in seconds.
I've
man.
seen that.
I'm
I've
like,
seen
what the fuck was that, man?
That's old school,
yeah,
man.
no jackhammer, no nothing, just
And
whacking with the
and
sledgehammer.
they're still working.
Yes.
Those
I'm
are the
like,
guys still
wow.
building the city.
That's I would walk.
That's construction.
And that's what I remember about. So what I remember about real construction versus now. Now we give the guys an hour break, and you know, the guys go out and we get to know each other. And we hold hands and we talk about what happened last night and how was your pussy cat and your dog. You know, is your relationship okay? Back when I was growing up, the guy would pull out a little bit of vino, eat a piece of cheese, and say, "Get back to work." And you ate while you worked. And if you didn't eat while you were working, you weren't going to work, or you were going to have a job.
Yeah. No, fuck.
I'm laughing because it's fucking true, man.
Totally different generation. There was no 15-minute breaks. You wanted a break, you got ahead of the guy that was put. If you were making concrete for a guy, you made concrete fast enough and perfect enough that you didn't have to work anymore, so you could take a 10-minute break or a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
And you just kept rolling. Ever since I met you two, there's never been a dull moment. We've been laughing about construction, even the negative things. Like
We laugh about it because we still can't believe that it's going on. Why is it
you're
still
right.
fucking going on? And sure, so a lot of I never thought of myself. I told you guys, man, I was a quiet kid. I'm still an introvert. Not a lot of people know about my private life. I like keeping my private life private because I want my private life.
That's why it's called
private
life.
Exactly, right? This is like us online, social media, and us also on this podcast here. This is just a fraction of who we are.
Social media is a smidge of who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to portray positivity, obviously, the fun, the jokes. This guy went on and on, Carlito, that is, about how, you know, hey, look, I met Mike and this happened to me.
yeah, but I haven't even started it. There's
I'm
just not
saying,
enough time.
No, I know. Dude, I'm just saying. It works both ways. Like, I'm more than grateful that you and I connected. Like, you have no idea. I learned a lot just from you in the last year alone. And I mean, miles I've learned. I've learned from you in the last year alone. I've learned more than I probably even cared to have learned.
This is the important part. It doesn't really matter what you did the last 20 years. It matters
It's
what you're
what's
doing
going on
today,
right now.
today,
And that's
where
what I'm
you're
trying to
going
say.
with
So
it.
you want to know a little bit about Mikey? This is what I'm trying to tell you guys.
Well, listen, I'm proud of you. What I've seen from a year ago to now, you have actually changed.
Oh, no,
and people
buddy.
don't change in construction. This is the most important part. Guys, you need to try new things. When you're willing and open-minded to try new things and take a chance, that's when you'll succeed.
Yeah, but that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say here is you guys want to know a little bit about me? I'm constantly trying new things. I am who I am, but I mean, there's hustle in here. You know, you got to hustle. That's it.
Wait a second. You're a pimp?
I am a pimp. Yes. No, but you know what I mean.
Are you like
you want to
me?
keep winning, man?
Could you imagine what kind of baby this guy was?
What the fuck is that supposed
I
to be?
had perm. I had a perm.
You had a perp?
I had a perm.
Oh my God, I had a perm.
No fucking way.
I swear.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I'll
man.
show you
I
a
went
picture
through,
one
I went
day.
through the punk stage and I straightened my hair to
Oh,
the
dude, I
point
have
where
curls,
my hair
man.
is dead straight now.
I have curls, dude. I have curls, man.
You're part Croatian.
It almost matches my pubes.
But
Red?
they say it goes red before it goes silver.
Does it really?
Trust me, it does.
I don't want to know. Oh, just the men down there.
Let me look at Mike over here and tell me this wasn't the Tasmanian devil when he was 3 years old.
100%.
How was your hair? We both had perms.
But here, I
mine
want
was normal, straight. Brown.
I know you were you're talking about going into engineering. In junior kindergarten, I lived at Dufferin and King. I went to a junior kindergarten school. We had these huge blocks. They would never dare give junior
Island
kindergarten.
foods, man. Rotis.
No, I'm talking about blocks, like big wood
No,
blocks.
King and Dufferin. King and Dufferin. Island foods.
So
Okay.
I had these big blocks. What they would allow us to do is build things. And one time I built a police car. And
Out of blocks?
Out of blocks.
Shut up.
Yeah. And the teacher said she's never had a student like this. And she said she swore I'd be an engineer. She lied to my mother.
Where is she now?
I don't know. Today is really about the three of us. So we've kind of
little bit of insight into us.
We've kind of spoken a little bit about ourselves. Why don't we talk about each other and what we think of each other? Maybe that
Fuck you
could
and
be,
fuck you.
Yeah, how about that could be interesting, couldn't it?
Let's begin with Mike.
Then everybody's like, Mike, what are you on? What are you on? I'm natural.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny because this guy wouldn't touch anything.
That's all
Yeah,
natural.
it's all now. I'm natural as they come, baby.
Mike, did you ever see yourself in construction? Honestly.
No, I fell into it as well.
So wait, as a kid, you weren't building things, Lego or anything like that. What were you doing?
I wanted to be a professional golfer, man.
As a kid, like a
Yeah,
little kid.
that's where I
Dude,
started.
you have missed your calling.
Oh
totally.
man, have I ever?
Are you going to open up Creatix Golfing School of Geniuses?
No, but I will build it.
At least you could take care of the green.
What drives you guys to keep moving forward, or basically just say fuck this? I'm tired of this shit. I'm walking away.
I like reaching the end. I like reaching the end
I'm the
result
same way.
on.
I love that
on-
finale.
Yeah, same here, and it drives me every time. But I also am motivated enough to know that I want to try to make one big job go smooth. I
Never
don't
gonna
want any
happen.
hiccups.
Never gonna happen.
It's never going to happen, but and that means I'm always going to be in this business because it's always a challenge.
It's funny you say that because for me, it's not about the end. Sometimes I like the beginning more.
We're still talking about construction?
Yeah. For me, really, it's about not doing it the way everyone's been trying to do it because I don't agree with a lot of things that are happening. I'm having a choice with you now to be able to do what I want to do. And Manny, you too. Like, I mean,
What did I do?
well, you're ahead of the ball. You're one of the few guys that is really not just going to these conventions and looking at new products, but actually bringing them home and trying them before anyone else does.
I used to do something. So back in high school days, I was the only guy who actually finished his model. Not a girl, like a house model. That was the project for the final year. We had to build a house. We had to sketch it, draw it, plan it, do everything, work the whole thing, and build a model. Right. So I was the only guy who actually finished it, and I came up with the hardest model to build. Right.
Wow.
And there's a lot of times when I was on the drafting table, I would just be staring at the piece of paper, and all my friends would just look at me and make fun of me. Like, what are you looking at? I'm looking at where it's going to go. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. And I still do this on the job site. So it's like I stand here and sometimes you'll catch me and you think I'm in La La Land, but I'm not. I'm actually I'm letting the hamster turn the fucking wheel to figure out the beginning, middle, and end. Because like you said, Mikey, we do this to get to the end.
Yep, I
It's
love
that
the end. It's
expression
fun.
from the clients when we're finished and how you took this house that was falling apart and you made it this home for this family.
Yeah.
That's what drives me.
That's exactly what drives me.
Well, I got a new drive. My new drive is to actually get rid of my customers and become my own customer.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I am looking now for an investor. I wanna build my own home because I'm sick and tired of trying to make people happy and educating them on what they should be doing or what they shouldn't be doing. I just want to do my own thing now.
That's going to get you guys a lot of business tomorrow. eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
You know what though? A long-term goal.
No, I get where he's coming from, man. A lot of the customers aren't educated enough.
Same.
And every time, yeah, here it is. And And oftentimes we have to educate them and let them know that these are the proper products. It's going to cost a little bit more money, and that's another podcast.
No fairness though, I fucking hate clients too, just as much as the next guy. I do.
Okay.
But there's
This guy's already got 2 fucking investors.
But the reality is
Fucking
that
asshole.
clients are like the angel and the devil on your shoulders.
Yeah.
They're like, you come up with a great idea and you present and you think, hey, I've got a winner here. And all of a sudden they say something that's either stupid or maybe genius. And you're like, it makes you think about modifying that idea and making it better. And then you get to a better place. So I do fucking hate clients. But the thing is, I love them too. So it is a love-hate thing. And I just... As much as I'm willing, I want to get to that end there. I do love saying goodbye to them.
Goodbye, farewell.
I'll see you in hell.
As much as I like them, I still fucking hate them.
I keep a tight relationship with a lot of our clients. So when we're all done, I mean,
Man, you're a better actor than me, man.
No, I'm not I'm not acting. I'm actually good friends with a lot of people that we've done renovations for.
But when they suggest something and it's got like completely preposterous, isn't it written on your face?
We debate about it. No, that's what the challenge is.
It's written all over my face.
But you know what, Manny? Let's we were talking about where we started and stuff, but really subconsciously, the toy companies have really put us in the position of being contractors or cleaners or so on, because your parents kind of give you these tools as these toys that are tools.
I remember that one.
You know, like building a house or tools, and
Lego.
they subconsciously actually motivated us or directed us. And you've got to have to be careful on what your parents give you, because that's really where you might end up. If my parents gave me a shovel and a hammer, and look at me now, I'm working like a nutcase. Manny, here's a question. I heard you asking Mike earlier on, how did you end up with Creatix? How did you end up with Hardcore?
Hardcore was... I came up with that name because I always hated... when I got into construction, I always saw the white vans to begin with. So either you're a serial killer with a lot of puppies and you drive a white van, or you're a contractor and you've got a magnetic sticker on the side with it's like AAA contracting, quadruple A contracting, whatever, right? And I didn't want any of those names for a business, and I didn't want a corporation number for a business. I didn't want any of that shit. So I just told myself, I want to tackle things that are very difficult. I always want to problem solve. I want to come up with ideas that people are not thinking. I want to try new products, and I want to push my clients a certain direction. So I said, well, that's hardcore. That's how I came up with the name. And it was just always Hardcore Renos, right?
While you're talking, all I could see is owning a pharmaceutical corporation.
What makes you think I don't? Take 5 of these and just call me in the morning. Yeah.
But it is funny. Like, since we've been kids, we've been somehow involved in construction, and now that me and you are a little bit older, and I'm older than you, it's still construction, and I only see for the next 30 years construction. Even without talking about my customers in my life, all I see is construction. So it's really a big part of all of us.
Right now, I want to spend the next 30 years or more, if I can, to balance my life.
I agree.
I want to have a balanced business. I want a business that's a well-oiled machine, and I want to have a balanced personal life, and I want to have more construction life. I never got into this game thinking that I would mentor anybody, but more and more people keep approaching me, asking me to be that, right? Or asking me for, you get it too, Mikey. You're like, everybody gets it here. They start asking you questions, how to get started. How do you deal with this? How do you handle that? And so we can only share what we've learned.
But you know why?
Why?
Well, because you guys actually care a little bit more. So why would you want to mentor under a hack or someone that doesn't care?
You don't.
You want to mentor under someone that cares, really makes a difference. I think that you guys make a difference, and why wouldn't you want to be mentored under someone like yourselves, right?
I won't kid you. Like I'm very flattered when people reach out with DMs and they want to ask questions, or they bump into me and they see me and they want to say hello. I actually encourage people, please do that, right? Don't follow me home though. I don't want you to do that.
You know what? I used to enjoy it, but everyone for some reason thinks I'm a hockey player.
That's because of Mikey. Mikey's instilled that into
They're like,
everybody's
"Hey,
head.
you play pro hockey?" And I'm like, "No, man.
No, I was on a TV show.
No. I was a glorified laborer. Okay, let's get that straight. Okay.
I don't get it. I don't get it as often as you guys do. But when I do, I stay humble. I'm like, yeah, no. Tell me more.
else?
Yeah, no. I'm just the same as all you guys. Sorry, can you tell me again
you know
why?
what? Before I met Mike, I was a normal guy. I met Mike, and all of a sudden, everything was Instagram.
And now it's not.
This.
Man,
been
this
off
guy,
social
you should
media, man.
see him with his fingers. I convinced all my buddies to build a fort under a tree. So we dug under tree roots on the side of a hill and made a huge room and had fires in it and so on. And this thing overhung the shore. So when Roxanne was getting older, I would take her for walks and I'd show it to her. And over the years, for the last 15 or 20 years, it's fallen down now. But like while she was growing up, I'd always show her and say, that was my fort up there. But she was too young for me to take her there because you had to kind of climb down. And I didn't want to lose Roxanne down the hill, right?
That's too funny.
But like we were constantly making forts. Like, you know, I won't tell you where I got the plywood from, but we were making 2-story forts, and then I won't tell you where I got the bob wire from. And we were making forts, and we would put bars with like C clamps over them with locks, and
Holy shit.
people were trying to get in, but they couldn't. Man,
Man, if you built that today, it'd be all over Instagram, man.
yeah, totally.
Yes, nobody can see this right now, but this guy's face is glittering, man.
Then everybody would know where you get the material from, man.
Yeah. Back then, it was just laying around everywhere.
Look, it's right there, just over the
Hey
fence.
man, there's 10 sheets of plywood there. Does that say CN?
Carlito,
Yes.
favorite beer?
I'm not a beer drinker, so
At all?
no.
Guinness for me.
I guess
Mikey,
I'd say
Stella.
something really disgusting, like a Labatt's Ice.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they still make that?
Dude, I'm a vodka drinker.
What's favorite vodka then?
Oh, it doesn't matter, man. As long as it's a potato, buddy, I'll drink it. I'm
Mikey?
Croatian. Potato.
I'm a Guinness mojito cigar guy.
I'm a definitely a Jules cigar guy. I've got four or five Jules in my truck right now.
No,
Yeah.
seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, we got
If you want to have one?
Oh, we got to do a podcast.
Want to have one tonight?
The clients might show
Okay.
up here. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Anyway, so I love
much as I would love to do
my
one.
cigars. I only drink scotch with my cigars. I like to
What
blow.
year? What year? What's the minimum?
The minimum amount? Put it this way: don't give me a liter of vodka unless you want every Starbucks flipped over on the street.
Mikey, you're just Stella. That's it. No hard booze.
Milk and cookies.
Milk and cookies.
I'm not hard booze. No, I'm not really a big drinker.
No
I'll be honest.
cocktails.
No,
Margarita.
negative.
Crown Royal.
Crown Royal with anything. I know that.
Definitely my
No
favorite.
rum and coke.
No.
Oh,
no.
rum and coke makes me think of Montreal.
It's beer. I'll have the occasional beer, and I never try to.
All right,
too loose.
favorite food. I love a fucking juicy grilled steak.
I had a steak yesterday.
I gotta
Delicious
watch
for
it. Once you're in your
breakfast.
40s, you get the doctor going.
Angus.
You guys are
Yeah.
fucked up. It's seafood for me. I love
Seafood.
shrimp. Yeah, I love
seafood,
lobster.
but I'm saying favorite.
My favorite. Oh, probably trout. I
Trout.
love trout.
How do
man.
you like it? Grilled on the
No,
barbecue?
it's gotta be. It's
baked.
I like it baked. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bottom feeder. I like sucker. No. I'm a catfish guy. I love catfish.
But it's a toss-up. I love my pasta.
Halibut. Trust me, I'm Portuguese, man. I fucking love fish.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
I'm a catfish guy. I just fucking love bottom feeders.
Favorite decade so far? I'm an 80s boy.
80s myself.
I would have to.
I
say
love everything 80s, man.
Yeah, me
you
too, man.
fucking bring up 80s. I love everything
90s.
Best time of my life was in the 80s.
80s. What
Best
about
time
you?
of my life was 90s.
90s?
Yeah, 90s.
Oh, nothing happened in the 90s. Grunge.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Grunge was good.
Something.
I was into alternative. I did alternative for a
Yeah,
long
Oh,
time.
I was always a big listener of alternative music. I mean, I'm a huge Depeche Mode and
Yeah, me too.
fucking New Order,
Yeah, definitely.
Smiths,
Yeah.
Sex, all that shit, all that stuff.
But I did a ska period. I was into.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
I couldn't get into it too much.
Into Madness specials and
So
so on.
you were Mikey. It must have been you. Must Boys to Men.
Kurt Cobain.
Oh, you were?
Cobain.
Yeah.
You really Kurt
yeah.
Cobain?
I liked Kurt Cobain. I mean, I liked a lot of people, a lot of groups, man. I was into everything. Smashing Pumpkins, Pearl Jam.
I never liked Pearl Jam. Sorry,
I
man.
love
Yeah, no,
Pearl Jam.
I did. I had some
I
good
loved
times.
Pearl Jam.
Molson Park. I went to a lot of parties in Molson Park.
First car that you fell in love with.
It's always and still will be the Lamborghini.
Which one?
I
Countach?
when it was a Countach when I first fell in love with the car, but now I'm just loving the Aventador.
He's got to build a lot of houses
Well,
for that.
I know.
I guess my first car would be the Yugo 3-cylinder.
I've driven one. Huh?
But to tell you the truth, it wasn't my first car that I was in love with. It was the first Enduro. For me, it was motorcycles for the many years, many years. I just loved dirt bikes and Enduros. I guess my first car that I would really appreciate, oh man, maybe a Charger. Challengers, you know, I you know what? It's a tough one, man.
It's a tough one, but I'm just saying the first one.
My father had an Impala, so
yeah,
convertible.
it's
So
a nice one.
Yeah,
I've always been partial to 427 Shelby Cobra.
yeah, nice.
Oh, I
man.
love the car. I
Nice.
love that car. Love
Yeah.
that car.
I didn't really like the Cobra. I didn't really like it.
No,
No, it was a
I
nice
always
car,
loved
big
the
tires.
shape. I love the shape of it. I thought it was sexy. It's not a very practical car, but
I liked cars like the Javelin that no one had. You know, I loved cars that were odd that no one wanted to drive.
Did you guys have a boombox when you were younger?
Yes.
I have
Yeah,
a
he's got
boombox
a
right
boombox
now.
right now.
I got two 12s and two 1000s in the back of my
doesn't
car.
it suck that we had to trade up the boombox for a fucking Walkman or a Discman and now
Well, I
it's an
never
iPod?
traded it up, but I definitely and you know I've got some really nice headsets that still vibrate.
This guy, unique, man. Oh, it's great.
Well, I was nobody. Might not. A lot of people that know me well know that I bounced for 15 years.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, like while I was doing construction at night, I would go and work until 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I'd work at booze cans until 6 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. But what we were taught was take martial arts and try your moves on people that deserved it.
Worst part of any construction project. Like I'm talking about, you could be as finite as cutting into clay pipe and trying to connect.
You know what? Honestly, there is no real bad part to construction for me except for chasing the trades.
Yeah.
I just hate having someone commit to something or a price or the job and then they don't pull through.
It sucks.
There's nothing more stressful or more that can make the job more complicated than someone that gives you empty promises and it never finishes what they committed to say or committed to what they were going to do.
a future podcast.
I would pretty much say the same thing. It's
No,
just,
I want a different answer.
okay, I'm telling you, it's hounding people. It's hounding people to do what they say they're going to do. Again, different podcast.
Trade people?
Trade people. It's always about that. Everybody that's in my core, I know what I'm going to expect every time we get the trades.
Okay,
to
get
come
rid of
in.
that. Favorite, like worst part of physically doing the job.
I'm not going to say.
I would say breaking up concrete in a
no,
basement.
but it's fun.
No, man, I don't like lugging concrete, man. I don't like staying wet like that, soaking wet, dirty dust, lime in my nose, and silica.
Least favorite trade and favorite trade.
Ooh, favorite trade?
Carpentry.
My
favorite trade.
My favorite trade right now is styrofoam.
Styrofoam. What do you
Yeah,
mean styrofoam?
like copper ceilings, crown molding,
doing crown, okay.
I've got a huge chub just talking about it
Just
right
thinking
now.
about that, eh?
I just love that. The worst trade that I probably think.
The one that I respect the most, but it's not the one that I would do, is roofing.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
It
You
gets
gotta
such
give
a
them a
hard
lot.
rap.
You got to give them a lot of credit.
You got to
man.
give it guys who actually do a good job and they take care of it. And
But my favorite part would be the landscaping. I have a backhoe and I got a couple of farm tools, obviously, but I love digging holes.
go for Carlito.
That's a good one, Manny. The roofers. Yeah.
I would say the roofers, I guess.
Yeah.
Favorite, I don't know. Favorite, yeah, finished carpentry.
Carpentry, yeah,
But you know what,
finished
though?
carpentry.
I also get in love with tiling, too.
I
Because
can't-
I
I
push the
can't.
tiling.
I used to
I
like
like
tiling, but my
tiling, I
back
just-
and legs can't take it
No,
anymore.
but see, when I'm tiling, I'm not about speed and get it done right away. I'm about just take my time and figure it out. And I'll
Yeah.
actually take more time figuring it out than actually physically tiling.
You know what? I like painting, spraying. Not painting, but spraying.
I
love.
appreciate painting. I literally watch paint dry. I do. I love watching paint dry, especially if it's Silvio.
I think the best thing that I'm good at, that I feel that I can do the best is mudding.
What do you? What do
for
you?
some reason.
Fuck that. What are you the worst at, Mikey? What are you the
Impossible.
worst at?
Oh, probably mudding.
No, electrical's my worst.
I can't stand electrical. I hate
can't-
anything
yeah.
that I can't see where the pain's coming from.
yeah.
I can mud, but it takes me a long time to get it to a
I don't
finish.
I respect electricians.
I do.
They do.
Yeah, respect. Of course, respect.
Same.
electricians.
Yeah.
Plumbing's fun, but electricians I got a respect for.
You got to respect for them.
Yeah.
Totally.
So you would want to be an engineer if you had a choice again.
If I had a choice again, an engineer, I'm fascinated by it, but I don't know. I'd be nervous about the way I build. I really push things, so I'd be nervous that if I have the engineering authorization, I'd be pushing things to the point where, right? So I'd be a little nervous about that. That's why I respect guys who actually are really good at it. So
Yeah.
I can push them, and then they can tell me.
I'd be into landscaping, and I think we already know your answer. You'd be a golfer,
A hockey player.
a hockey player. Hey, did you hear that?
A hockey player.
It's like a 5-year-old at Christmas.
I want to be a hockey player.
Manny, what's your favorite tool? I'll tell you mine.
I don't want to know yours.
No. With all the jokes aside, the level is my favorite.
The level?
The laser and level, yeah.
The laser level.
Yeah.
The laser and the level?
Well, either which way, as long as it's level. I love the level. You know what? I can't work without a
This
level.
is hard. This is a really
I
hard.
like the sawzall.
Sawzall.
I love us. Whoever the sawzall is the best
But it's
tool.
way-
Wait.
I know,
First of all,
I know,
let's
I
call
know.
it the reciprocating
I'm sorry,
saw.
the reciprocating
I didn't
saw.
realize that you just became a Milwaukee guy all of a
I
sudden.
know. Shut
and he-
up.
and
The
he's-
Walters words.
And he's got no Milwaukee.
Can
I
you
don't
pass,
have any
Can you
Milwaukee.
pass me a Kleenex?
I know, but
no,
I can pass
I
you
want
a
a tissue.
reciprocating saw.
Yeah, I always found that funny. The guys that always say, "Can you pass me a sawzall?" I say, "What?"
You know what? They've branded it so well.
I know.
that everybody
That's
says that.
Sawzall, really?
Sawzall.
Yeah.
Reciprocating.
And your
reciprocating
level.
saw. Well, it's that.
No,
it's that. or-
honestly, before I start a project, I put a level on the floor. I
You
put
know
a
what
level
I'd
on the
have to
walls.
say? You know what I'd have to say?
tape measure.
No.
What?
I'd have to say my Snickers workwear.
Oh,
I love not wearing a tool belt anymore.
Snickers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do love these pants, man. But if you want an actual tool, you know what? Ever since the impact gun came out, I kind of love the impact.
You know what? You're right. When we just had the normal drill with a different
Yeah.
with a different torques of 25
Yeah.
or 50, that just wasn't enough. It stripped
impact?
things. The impact gun has changed the
It's
industry.
not the best tool to have when your head is in between 12-inch by a 12-inch
Oh,
center
yeah.
LVLs and you're using it.
Well, they've got tools. I'm not going to name what brand.
No, I
because
know.
they've made them
I've got
quieter.
the same one from DeWalt.
What don't we know about Carlito, Mikey, or Manny? That was a question that Jen
Okay.
asked us on her podcast.
What
but we
they
didn't
don't
put it.
know about Manny that I know of, that I'll share about Manny.
Dun dun dun.
This motherfucker can cook.
You know what?
Bake.
And,
Bake.
and
No.
no matter what you think about Manny, how hard he comes at you, he's got a sensitive personality.
That's bullshit. when you're a single man and been a single man for a little while, you learn how to fucking survive, and that means you learn how to cook. Otherwise, you get in your 40s and you start ballooning. Okay?
No, dude, honestly, I'm not even blowing shit up your ass. Blowing smoke up your ass. That banana bread.
Dude, anybody who knows me knows I love banana bread, man.
Dude, that
You
banana
make more
bread.
banana bread next time?
You got to watch it. You can't make it all the time, man. You can't eat banana bread all the fucking time.
It wasn't all the time. I only had a piece.
What most
You should have
people
got into it earlier.
What most people don't know about Mike that I know of.
I want to know this.
This guy really loves his family, man. He can't wait to go.
That's huge.
This guy can't wait to go home to see his girls, man. It's one thing he stresses to me daily, 10 times to fucking 100 times a day. I don't think his family realizes how much he misses them. And that's something that he doesn't share with many people, but it's always on his mind.
I love you to death, buddy, but they
me-
don't listen to the podcast.
It drives me a little.
Balance.
It drives me a little bit
Balance,
nuts.
exactly.
Balance.
Hey, man, it's important to me.
So,
it's
Mikey,
important.
what's one thing about Carlito? You know him more than I do.
Jeez, man.
Intimately.
It's like a one thing.
You stay on that side of the podcast table.
They
You know
call me
what? One thing
podcast.
that a lot of people don't know about Carlito is this man can give you some serious advice pretty much about anything.
Wow.
I'm not even joking. It can even outside of construction. He's pretty intelligent, especially with.
Wow, I've really fooled
like
him.
Yeah, pretty much, man. No, he's got some insight on a lot of topics, and he's an all-around good guy, and he's funny. That's the most important thing.
No, we're all assholes.
Yeah,
Well, at least I am.
fuck, but still. No,
cares?
that's it. So, I don't know.
What do you know about me, Manny, that you haven't told me yet?
I think you're far more passionate than you let yourself out to be.
Yep.
I think you restrain. I think if you could, you would express more. That's what I think. I'm guessing because I've only known you barely a year now.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
it's been
what this
over
is
a year
for.
now.
He's
No.
absolutely right.
I thought
think
it was
he's right.
August. We met in August, July, August, I think it was. I looked at the photos on Instagram. So-
Really?
Yeah, I looked at the date
Wow,
on
it
it.
feels longer, man.
I know.
And that's a good thing.
But that's what no, that's good. So that's what I think that the passion is like. It's strong with this one.
It's so strong with you. You have the force is in you.
Shouldn't he be doing that? The short guy.
Go ahead, come on, dude. You gotta do Yoda. Come on.
I can't do Yoda.
Oh, the force is strong.
You know what? Mikey kind of reminds me of Jabba the Butt. Or Ham Solo. and if it was in the 1800s, it'd be Hamelon.
I guess that would make you Chewbacca. Too much information.
A little too much, yeah.
information.
Okay. Here's another question for you. What would you share with people? Something about you that you want people to know?
I love to travel alone. I don't know why. I've always traveled alone since my 20s.
Wow.
Nice.
I just like it.
I could tell. He was just like, he looked at me like, if you could see Manny's eyes right now, like, I just like it. This one's a top secret kind of guy. Whatever happened in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Nothing happened in Vegas.
Mike, if there's something that you could share something about yourself that someone that doesn't know about you or we don't know about you, you want to share?
Not really. Come on. I'm pretty open, man.
There's got to be a skeleton there somewhere. Open up the closet.
Sounds like my back. Yeah, you caught me, dude. I don't know. I can't answer that right now.
And what about you, Carlito?
Honestly,
One little thing.
One thing. All my personal friends know this, but I love ballroom dancing.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I love salsa. I like bachata.
Are you good at it?
I was until my knee got bad. I was getting there.
Dirt biking.
I wouldn't say I was great at it, but I have fun with
Flamingo?
it. No, I never got there yet. But
I love
we did
watching-
foxtrot
I
and
love
a lot of
watching
other
that.
things.
I never knew that.
Yeah, my wife got me because I bounced so many years. I learned to just kind of stay in the corner and hide like a shadow. My wife brought it out in me, and ever since then, all I want to do is go dancing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so she's brought out a different side of me. If I had a choice now, if I were to go back as a child, I would have taken out all my martial arts and replaced it with ballroom dancing.
No.
No, honestly,
You do both.
because there's just so much interaction with people, and there's so many interesting people in that industry, and everyone's having a good time. Nobody's trying to screw anyone over. Everyone's trying to help you in dancing, and everyone's just having a great time. And the bonding between people, and you know what? You can flirt with other people's wives and not get in trouble.
There it is. Of course. I knew there was something.
I look over at my wife and she's like, "Oh yeah, get over here." I see her with another man. I'm like, "Hey, get over here." I know where this dancing takes us.
We're already pretty well out there. I mean, we're right at the top of the food chain, out of hand, extreme, radical. So I will tell you a joke. There's this rabbit, and he's bouncing through the forest, and he's running along, and all of a sudden he sees a fucking a hippopotamus, and he goes up to the hippopotamus, and he goes, no, stop, and he sees the hippopotamus is about to smoke a joint. And he says, put that thing down. Don't smoke the joint. Come for a run with me. And the hippopotamus is like, I'm a hippo, man. I don't run. And he's like, no, just come for a run. Put the joint down. So the hippo's like, okay, fine. The rabbit's bouncing through the forest and the hippo's running through the field. And all of a sudden they see the giraffe. And all of a sudden the giraffe's about to do a rail of cocaine. and the rabbit goes, no. And the hippopotamus says, don't do it. And the giraffe's like, why? And he's like, we're going for a run. Stay healthy. Just put it down, man. Come for a run with us. And the giraffe's like, you know what? Good idea. Let's do it. So the giraffe's fucking trotting through the grass. The fucking hippopotamus is running. The fucking rabbit's bouncing. All of a sudden, they see the lion by the tree. And he's about to do hit a fucking heroin. And the giraffe goes, don't do it. So they run up to the lion. And the lion just fucking takes his mouth and just eats the rabbit. And the giraffe goes, what the hell did you do that for? He goes, every time that guy gets on heroin, it makes me run around.
That was good.
Wait, who's the rabbit?
Our buddy over here.
No, fuck you guys. I told you I'm clean.
But that was one smart lion.
So on that note, I think we shared a lot about ourselves, about myself and Mikey and Carlito, and a little more insight into the three guys behind the Construction Life podcast. That was episode number 7. And guess what? Next week, we are going to be talking to our special guest, Will Gunnell from Gunnell Homes.
Oh,
talking
fantastic.
Military, police, and contractor now. And we're going to get a lot of insight on how he started and how he's doing and where he's at and what he's got plans for. So once again, thanks again for listening there, everybody. And we enjoy doing these podcasts. And that's Carlito on the beats.
I love it.
And Mike's going to join in soon.
Yo, my name is Mike, and I like to go. T.O., baby.
Yeah,
T.O., boy.